Welcome back, Focus Learners. Let's jump right in, because today we're looking at a truly transformative framework. Since you're here, I know you already value your time, but we're about to take that to a completely new level. We're unpacking the core principles from Thibaut Muriez's Master Your Time. And listen, this isn't just about, shuffling your daily schedule around. It's a strategic toolkit designed to completely overhaul how you manage your energy, your focus, and ultimately, your entire life.
But right off the bat, I want you to ask yourself, why do your 24 hours feel so much shorter than everyone else's? Seriously, we all share the exact same limited resource, right? Yet somehow, a single day just slips through our fingers, leaving us totally drained and wondering where on earth the time went. It's an incredibly painful, frustrating feeling when you're constantly running out of runway to hit your goals.
And a huge part of that pain comes from a trap we all know too well. It is so easy to fall into an unproductive day. You tell yourself you're just going to watch one more episode of that new show, and bam, 4 hours are instantly gone. Now, contrast that with a productive day. Imagine if you took those exact same 4 hours, spent just 1 hour watching TV, and used the other 3 for reading, doing deep-focused work, or building meaningful connections. That right there is exactly how you build a successful future instead of just watching your time literally evaporate.
So let's dive into this level-up framework. We're covering 5 crucial steps today: the time management myth, beating the procrastination trap, focusing on your micro-life, how to multiply your time, and finally, unlocking the flow state. This is going to shift your mindset from "I don't have time" to absolute mastery.
Kicking things off with Section 1, the time management myth. The reality here is going to surprise you. It's actually not a lack of time that's holding you back. That is a complete myth. What's actually holding you back is mismanaged energy and totally unclear priorities.
You see, true productivity is all about matching your tasks to the natural phases of your energy cycle. Think of it like a daily battery. First, you conserve that energy by fiercely protecting your sleep and eating well. Then, you channel it. You prioritize your absolute most essential tasks when your focus is hitting its peak. Like taking one uninterrupted hour in the morning for your biggest project. Next, you immerse yourself completely by eliminating every single distraction. And finally, you have to recharge. You have to take deliberate breaks to restart that whole cycle.
Once you get a handle on your energy, you naturally progress through 5 productivity levels. You start down at level 1 by simply removing distractions. Then you move up to boosting your enthusiasm, defining very specific goals, planning your day, and finally, balancing all of that with an active, healthy social life. And honestly, the absolute best part? You don't need some complex, expensive software system to do this. A simple piece of paper and a pen is completely sufficient to map out this framework and take your day back.
But if it's really that simple, why do we constantly get stuck? Let's move into Section 2, beating the procrastination trap. We need to look at the psychological barriers that keep us trapped at level 1 and completely drain our daily momentum.
Let's break down the real reasons we put things off. Because guess what? It is rarely just laziness. We procrastinate because the task itself is totally unclear. Or maybe we're carrying this incredibly heavy mental workload that makes us feel instantly overwhelmed. Or, and this is a big one, it's the paralyzing fear of not doing the task perfectly. When a project feels massive, our brains literally throw up mental brick walls to protect us.
So here is the absolutely crucial takeaway. You cannot sit around waiting for inspiration to strike. Motivation is not about feeling some magical spark before you begin. Motivation actually comes after you start taking action. To beat the procrastination trap, you have to take those massive, scary tasks, break them down into tiny, manageable little parts, and just start. The simple act of doing generates the exact motivation you need to keep going.
Now that we know how to crush procrastination, let's move right into Section 3. Focus on your micro-life. We really need to explore how updating our actual day-to-day perception of time dictates our ultimate success.
Okay, so it's time to define your micro-life. Basically, your micro-life is exactly what you do today. It is the present moment. If you let today just kind of pass by while you only do trivial, low-value tasks, your micro-life becomes meaningless, and it absolutely won't build into your bigger goals. Think of your micro-life as the fundamental building block for your macro-life, and your macro-life, that's your future.
To actually take control of that micro-life, you have to completely change your vocabulary. Walking around saying, "I don't have time," is a genuinely weak mindset. Usually, it's just a lazy excuse that shows a lack of motivation to take real responsibility.
You've got to reframe that into a deeply empowered statement. Tell yourself, I have pending work right now, but I will make time for this. Just changing those words instantly puts you right back in the driver's seat of your own life.
And to guarantee you're using that micro-life effectively, you have to manufacture urgency using the 90-day urgency push. Look, if you give yourself too much time to relax, you are going to delay your progress. It's human nature. Instead, push yourself with a strict 90-day window. Whether you're trying to learn a foreign language or draft a new book, start on day 1. Make sure you're taking consistent daily micro-steps by day 30, and I promise you, by day 90, you're going to see massive, compounded progress and a goal that is actually achieved.
That brings us to section 4. How to multiply your time. This is where we level up with specific power-ups that allow you to literally multiply the hours you have available.
Here's the secret. You do not have to do everything yourself. You can rely on powerful time multipliers. For example, if you need a book translated into Spanish or German, don't stubbornly try to learn the entire language from scratch just to do it yourself. Seek help from someone who already knows it. Hire a coach to drastically shorten your learning curve. Master the fundamentals, so you never waste time making rookie mistakes, and use repetition until your most crucial tasks become completely automatic.
You also multiply your time by fiercely protecting it from bad investments. Let's think about the number 60 for a second. If you want to buy a $900 phone, but you earn a $15 an hour wage, that phone doesn't just cost $900. It literally costs you 60 grueling hours of your actual life. When you start viewing your spending through the literal time cost of consumerism, you become incredibly protective of where your hours are going.
And all of these concepts build into the ultimate level of our explainer. Section 5, Unlocking the Flow State and Achieving Extraordinary Focus. Because your energy is limited, you have to be absolutely ruthless about eliminating the enemies of focus. You must set incredibly strict rules for yourself. No task switching, no letting people interrupt your dedicated focus hour, and absolutely no checking emails and notifications while you work. Jumping back and forth between trivial tasks completely shatters your concentration, and it instantly drains all that hard-earned momentum.
So instead of being scattered everywhere, you want to apply the 80-20 principle. Basically, 20% of your effort generates 80% of your results. Think about writing a book. Dedicating just 20% of your effort to promoting that newly released book with targeted ads might bring in 80% of your total readers. You have to constantly ask yourself, is this specific task the 20% that's actually going to drive massive results?
When you narrow your focus down to only that vital 20%, you want to trigger the flow state. That is that amazing, almost magical feeling where your brain is fully immersed and you completely lose track of time. But you don't just sit around and wait for it, you intentionally trigger it. Create a strict daily routine at the exact same time and place. Meditate right before you work to prime your brain, put on some headphones to block out the entire world, and step away from the constant digital noise to actually allow yourself to be bored. Because when you're bored, your mind finally gets a chance to reset.
Which brings us right to the end of our explainer today. We've covered mastering your energy, destroying procrastination, multiplying your hours, and triggering intense, laser-like focus. But the absolute most important takeaway is this final thought. You cannot get time back, ever. Your macro life is being built right now, in this exact specific moment. Your micro life starts right now. So how are you going to spend it?